Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident tinkerer and Medarot, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Well, as we crest into week 3 and the final week of the Medarot S 6-year anniversary, it looks like things are definitely going to be going out with a bang. And might I say, quite literally in that sense too, given the fact that we're going to be seeing the official introduction of the final anniversary model that was in store for us over this year to celebrate 6 years of Medarot S ongoing and still kicking. And that is the introduction of a new KLN type that, much like Smilo Lulu was last week, is also designed by the legendary and resident legend himself, Fujioka Kenki. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week, starting with the gacha banners and who to expect in this week's lineup. Because it is going to be a little heavy this week, much like it has been in previous weeks so far, mostly because of collab reruns as well. But depending on the collab, if you don't care too much for it, this might be a chance for you to recoup. That being said, though, moving on to the gacha banners, we're only getting one brand new one this week, much like we did last week with Smilo Lulu, and that is for her new twin sister, KLN05 Warbonetototo, with a completely new kit across the board of Power Plant, Collide Shot, Full Gatling, Biped Legs, and a brand new leg ability of Lamplight. And looking over the kit in particular of just what War Toto, as I will affectionately call her as, Smilo Lulu and War Toto respectively, I can summarize War Toto in three words. Armor-piercing rounds. If you want someone to start punching through armor when the current meta is piling on high bulk for high specs, this is the perfect counter for you. And you definitely do not want to miss out on what War Toto brings to the field, not just for her overall performance, but for standing in the legacy of the legendary King Lion series that has been around since the days of Medarot 2. And might I say, much like with previous designs that Mr. Kenki has done, he most certainly cooked yet again with designs for both a Saber Tiger and a King Lion type. So I am very excited to see what a full spec one will do across the board when she does officially launch this week for players to collect. Now, much like it was last week with the highlight of Saber Tigers in particular, this week we're going to be getting a front running of King Lions, just as powerful in their own right with what they bring to the table. Alongside War Toto on her specific banner, we'll also be seeing boosted rates for KLN04, Musketeerado, with Leg Trap, Railgun, Shotgun, Biped Legs, and Rising, and KLN01C, Unitress C, with Heater Plant C, Rifle and Gatling C, Biped Legs, and Supporter. Now, much like Crafty Mode Excise, Crafty Mode Unitress can also meta change into an alt mode, the better known as the Demolition mode in the anime, with a kit of Meta Rose, Power Napalm, Giga Gatling, Multi-Legs, and Assault. So, honestly, it's going to be a pretty good running this week as far as high-power shoot DPS types is concerned. Whether you choose to go for War Toto, or if you end up getting the boosted rate with Musketeerado or Unitress C, you're definitely not going to be lacking with what they bring to the table, and you can use any one of them almost immediately right out of the box without any major setup necessary. For the boosted rates we have across the board, it's going to be kind of an opposing counterpart situation this week, with the introduction of a lot of basic melee skills that are up for grabs this week as we kind of round out the tail end of January. That being said, on this top row, we have EPI-0 Bone Cracker with Heel Trap, Double Sword, Float Legs, and Straight. BRA-0 Land Brachia with Anti-Air, Double Beam, Tank Legs, and Bullet Rain. And PTL-0 Air Terra with Radar Sight, Double Sword, Flight Legs, and Straight. On the bottom row, we have TIR-0 Attack Tyranno with Fire, Double Hammer, Biped Legs, and Straight yet again. We have WEA-03P2 Chisaku 2 with Charge Buster, Press, Power Rifle, Tank Legs, and Trap Buster. And SCP-0 Poison Scorpy with Triple Melt, Multi-Legs, and Desert type. Now, if you're looking for conventional melee parts that you really can't go wrong with using anywhere, this is definitely going to be the week for you to start up and farm up with all the models that are available. And especially if you're looking for ones that offer great leg abilities to bolster for melee attacks as well, especially with not 1, not 2, but 3 different models on the board here up for grabs that have straight as a leg ability, which is a passive boost to success for all melee parts equipped. Alternatively, though, you also have a couple shoot DPS on the board too, such as Land Brachia with Bullet Rain, or even Shisaku-2 if you need some higher artillery shoot in a pinch. But ultimately, I do have to give MVP of the week to Poison Scorpy. Not exactly for the fact that Melt is considered anything noteworthy or worth bringing home, because it's alright, not anything really to write home about. But multi-legs with Desert type means that it will have an alternative S-rank mastery on a terrain that most other multi-legs typically tend to be either neutral or not really all that great on. Which means if you're trying to keep yourself from using flight legs because you know for a fact that the enemy team is going to be using anti-air, this is a very good alternative to keep in mind. So ultimately, farm all 6, but definitely shoot for Poison Scorpy of the batch if you have to pick one to push for the most. Now, as we crest in the final week and wave 3 of the Meta S 6-year anniversary, this week is going to be just a little bit quieter as far as anniversaries and events are concerned. The Meta Wheel of Fortune will officially be closing up this week, so make sure that if you have not finished the boxes, do go through them here pretty quick and empty those out so you get all the rewards, because there are a handful of good medals and parts in there if you did miss them. But this week we'll be going on through a Metameister event, which explains simply is they'll give you 1 level of the dungeon per day with additional challenges for bonus points. Simply complete the challenge for a high score, and when you're done with it, you're finished. You don't have to touch it again for the next day unless you want to go for a higher score. And most of the missions involve things such as, say, like use a shooting attack 3 times, use a support skill, score a critical hit. Fairly easy stuff overall. But this week on the table, we have the opportunity to earn a new medal, and that is the Barbary Lion Medal, which is a brand new variant of a Lion Medal, which is a Hunter nature with a mastery in shooting, healing, and setup, and leg masteries of Biped, Multi, and Wheel. Now, given that Warbonetototo does not have any CG reliance or requirement in her skill set as a whole, this one may not exactly be a best in slot, but if you're looking for any shoot DPSs in particular that are CG reliant, this might be a really good medal to hold on to all the same, especially with what it brings to the table. Now, once you're done with that, though, and you find yourself still looking for things to do, the Cyborg Kuro-chan collab will also be going live this week with everything that is coming to the table. So, much like with Rockman EXE and Rockman X in this past week, Cyborg Kuro-chan will be going up once again for a 1-week rerun with everything that's on the table, which includes the Bouncer and the Scientist medals as you see here, the alternative cosplay outfits for Metarotters, and the 3 alternative profile banners that you can unlock. It'll be basically like other previous events thus far, as a basic score attack that is essentially a lightning round. So basically farm it all the way up to completion, and basically you're done, end of story with all the rewards. But these are not the only rewards that are up on the table this time around either, because we also have the opportunity to go back and earn, or re-earn if you miss them, any of the missing collab skins from models that did get them over the first or second time that the collab came around. These include the Dunk style skin for Meisai Moran, a Nana style skin for Cheerful Bunny, and a Kuro-chan style skin for Gato Arbol, alongside a Mikun style Pepper Cat complete with a total tail change as well, and a Tora Torio style or Evil Rex. So, this one will be just a little bit more profitable as far as events are concerned, because you're not just getting profile banners and BGMs and medals, but some alternative cosmetic skins are also on the table this time around, so do make sure you collect them while you get the chance and the event is still ongoing. Now, like in previous weeks in similar manner, all 5 of the gacha models that are up on the table for the Kuro-chan collab will also be getting permanent stat buffs across the board to help keep them in the competitive meta. So if they weren't already good before, they're definitely going to get a couple extra perks going forward. And especially with Geha Chapin specifically as one of arguably the best of the bunch as a non-aggressive support and healer type role that he does bring to the table. But it is also worth noting that both Black Kid and Me Army also have tune-up available for additional perks on top of that. So if you ended up missing them the first time and want to make sure that you capitalize on some gunpowder DPS, definitely make sure you don't miss out on any of the models that are on the table. Especially, it's worth noting that Neko Danger specifically, as the last model that was released and the most recent, as one of the only ones with Ignis on the board, which is a boost to gunpowder damage as long as the effect is active. So it is going to be very good to see how this goes, and I am excited to see what any changes that do go live, in addition to next week where we get the Shaman King collab rerun once again, and any bonuses that we get out of that one. As far as Meta Survivor is concerned, though, it is going to be fairly busy, though. We're going to be getting two brand new models officially dropped into Meta Survivor from Meta S, but we also have another really big update for the version 2 patch. But before I do get ahead of myself here, this week in particular, we see the introduction of both Parallel Deuce, WEA-04 from the Weapon Type series, with a very good emphasis on overall balance between armor and power with its passives, as well as a very high emphasis on crits with its own skill. So this is going to be very good for punching through a lot of hardcore models and a lot of hardcore hordes that are possibly trying to curb or wall you with higher inflated HP. Additionally, MGY0 Gato Arbol will also be going live in Meta Survivor this week as well, with a very big push for gravity skill damage, which we so far have not seen a whole lot of, with the exception of Chaos Fix for the last couple weeks. And given that gravity can definitely shred through a whole lot in the right scenarios, this will definitely be a really good support to hold on to for any gravity build teams that you're going after. So make sure you pull for either of these, and if you do miss out on them, they are also cycling these over the course of the next couple weeks, so that you can sample them before actually trying them out and see what you think. But the other really big announcement that is going live this week for Meta Survivor for the version 2.0 update is Medarotters. What is a Medarot without a handler to give them orders, much like it was in the original Meta S? This time around, though, Medarotters have a little bit different of an extra perk while they're active. Simply explained, you can pull for and raise Medarotters through a new set of banners that do go live, but each of the Medarotters will also have an additional passive that can be activated at any time. The way they explain Medarotters will work is that you can raise them with books, much like you can with Meta S, to boost them up to higher ranks and get better perks when activating them. However, in contrast to Meta S, where Medarotters can only be activated once per battle, in Meta Survivor they can be activated as many times as you want, as long as there is a cooldown. So after a skill officially goes live and it goes on cooldown, if you're able to activate it again, do it. It'll give you a chance to boost the run and keep you going just a little bit farther with extra perks. Additionally, it was also mentioned that you can equip up to 3 Medarotters at a time to activate different perks whenever you feel is most pertinent to your run. So this is going to be adding a whole new level to the game to really start tying in the theme of Medarots and Medarotters together as a combined pair in this sense. So very excited to see what that does bring for the time when it does officially launch this week and go live, to just kind of see how it rolls out. Now, as far as the EN patches, the global release is concerned, because that is coming up very, very soon, mid to late February, if memory does serve. As a reminder, yes, I will be streaming it on launch day if absolutely possible, so that we can all play the global English patch together and really have some fun with it. So I'm very, very excited for that. But do make sure to keep an eye out for that as well. Stay tuned, listen to me here on the MNN, or join our Discord if you want to keep up to date on that. But moving away from game-related stuff, as always, we're continually looking for any assistance with any updated projects or endeavors, such as with Medarot 9, Medarot 4, or any manga translation endeavors. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, and have some time on your hands, or if you know somebody that might be, definitely feel free to ask around, join our Discord, and ask about it. We will get you in touch with the right people. Alternatively, there's also a link to Variant's crowdfunding in the comments below, where you can donate to the cause, and we can commission some of those extra lines of text to be translated professionally on our behalf. This will make life just a little bit easier on the translator, so they can focus more on cleaning and typesetting. And the sooner that those are done, the faster that we can get to them. As far as Medarot 9 is concerned, it is, how do I put this, tentatively done, quote-unquote. but it is largely machine translated, so not 100% gone through all the way, and still in need of a few human eyes to kind of look at it and double check and just make sure everything fits properly and grammatically and contextually, so that we can properly read off and say that it is officially done. So again, join our Discord, ask around, we will get you in touch with the right people. But as I do prepare to wrap us up here, as a friendly reminder, I am also on Cards, so link provided here and in the comments below. You can find that there if you want to reach out to me on any of my socials, or if you'd like to see any of my commission services that are offered. This includes live 2D models ready to rig, 3D models with the works, my VTube 64 models, standard traditional art. I do just a little bit of everything, so I would love to try to get in contact with you if you are interested in that. Definitely feel free to check out that link and follow me on any of my socials if you have any questions. But that basically covers everything for this week's episode. So, like I said, it's gonna be fairly light as the anniversary events will start going out with a bang. So things are starting to wind down just a little bit, and I highly expect that next week things are probably gonna go back to business as usual, minus the Shaman King collab that also will be rerunning next week as well. But with that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community on Facebook, whichever one is most convenient to you, because I post everything in both places. You can also follow me on, join us on Discord with the link provided as well to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, weekly episodes, or anything else like. That is the first place you will hear it before it goes anywhere else on the net. And you can also follow me on my socials, Twitter, Blue Sky, or Discord at Isagamikura, or just click the link on Card as well to find those there, and you can get in touch with me that way as well. So if you have any questions, feedback, suggestions, if you want to commission me, or even or collaborate with me to guest on the MNN, or even to have me join on your channel for friendly chat, I would absolutely love to do that at some point. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.